had some fun.
It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Happy Saturday morning, David B.
Good morning, producer Tony.
Good morning to you. Good morning to all of you listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast, episode number 119. My name is Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, trucking along through the trenches is David B. Timmy D may be sliding in here shortly. Trucking topics. David B's got a good one today. You're not going to believe what congestion on the interstates and trucking in our trucking sector is costing us yearly. David B's got that. I got a follow up to the convoy out of business follow up. Just couple more details about that and kind of the theory of what they wanted to do. The views of Ship's Gonna Happen are purely news driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business entity that uses a transportation provider. David, we do it kind of because of
Transportainment.
Boom! That's right, Transportainment. You can catch us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all of the service places that provide podcasts. You can put us in any searches and find us. All you got to do is do that. Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast, episode 119. David B., happy Saturday morning, my friend.
Producer Tony, these are my favorite kind of Saturdays. A gray, dreary Saturday.
Yeah,
the sun's
these.
Not out. It's good football weather. It's nice and cool.
Crisp bite in the air.
I like this.
Yeah.
This is my cup of tea. I can kind of the big fella you hear in the group. So the cooler it is, it's easier for me
the
to
big
be
bear
mobile or whatever. It's just a great Saturday. It's a good fall weather. And like producer Tony mentioned earlier, thanks to all of you for listening. This show, along with all of our other shows, are brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go after Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go on to unwind, chat it up with the locals, get a great meal, hear some good music, just kind of your overall just great dive bar-ish type of place.
Dive bar of the year, right?
Yeah, they were Indiana's dive bar of the year, voted by the I think it was a Yelp review thing or whatever. So
yeah,
or whatever that means. But Jen and her crew will take care of you. They do a great job of kind of making sure everybody's taken care of and stuff. So thanks again to The Great Divide. They have us a billboard up on the south side of Indianapolis. Much appreciated that they're taking care of that for us. So producer Tony, this is just a good fall weekend weather and some college football game day going on. And we got some good topics to discuss.
Yeah, maybe I think we didn't add in the topics there. The old Michigan cheating scandal. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, let's discuss that a little bit.
You want to talk about that first? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I guess first is fine. The first thing that doesn't, and I'm not condoning whatever happened.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm not doing that. But you got to think that every team has got to kind of go about trying to get an advantage in the game, whether they're stealing signs or whatever. And but do you do it as deliberately as what they're doing? I mean, up there,
yeah.
But it just seems like this is something that's going to be kind of another one of them things where it happened and they're going to kind of maybe get a little smack on the wrist and just go about everything being whatever.
No, I know.
I'm not trying to make whatever. It just seems that's the way things are. Where again, tiny little Northwestern's going to get the shit and not be worth anything for the next X amount of years because of the scandal that happened there.
Right.
But Michigan's going to be like, we're just going to keep powerhousing through this.
Yeah, man, I've been keeping kind of close eye on it, like you have been, and I think, to me, I think, they, like you said, they all did it, right? I mean, I remember playing high school sports. We would watch our coach, but I don't think they'd get advanced film. And then we'd watch it of the other team, and then you'd set up your plays, but you really didn't know what their call signals were per se, because teams change them. One part of you wants to say shame on you for not changing your signals, right?
Yeah.
But this goes deeper.
Okay.
So there was a story that broke last night out of TCU.
Oh, I didn't.
So TCU had claimed that they knew about it. And so they had 4 or 5 people giving signs on the sidelines, and the players knew that none of those were the signs, but they would look back and act like that's the sign. And Michigan was setting up, and they got their butts kicked in that game. So the one game that it's kind of visible of what they did. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that video yet.
I have not.
Oh man, it's pretty much like, wow. So CJ Stroud's up at the line. He steps back and he looks over and he's waiting for the signal. And then he gets the signal before CJ Stroud, or as he turns around back toward his team to tell them the audible play. Michigan's coaches are jumping up in the air right when the coach is giving them the signal. They know the signal, and they're giving the signal to their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just so it goes deep. And this kid that was on the staff, he wrote a whole manifesto about how he was going to take over the Michigan coaching staff.
On the TCU staff?
No, on the Michigan staff.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so it goes deep. So here's my thought, because you brought up a good point about Northwestern, because I thought, if there's things wrong, fix them. I think that Northwestern thing could have been fixed in-house, right? For the most part,
yes.
and could have been reprimanded some things going on.
Yeah, for going 4-20 in the last 2 years, probably would get you fired.
Right. Exactly.
Don't take it that I'm poo-pooing or
the
taking away
hazing
from
or
the
whatever.
underlying issue.
The victim.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I've mentioned, if that was my child, you wouldn't have to be worrying about your employer. You'd have to worry about me.
Right. And then sometimes I think the coaching staff doesn't know those instances. Those are being done by bad elements inside the team. So,
Completely, yes.
I mean, some of that stuff could have been addressed a lot better and a lot easier. And you know what? If it's a problem, when it's a problem, bring it up. Don't, how can you wait 10 years to bring something up to ruin someone's life? So, the Astros got caught stealing signs, right? I mean, so it happens, but it just looks like Michigan. So the deeper story as of last night is Michigan had a budget for this, and this guy was flying to 30 games, and so he was going to be at the Ohio State. Who did Ohio State play this last weekend? He was going to be at that game. He had tickets for that game, and he sits at the 50-yard line.
The IU? No, it wasn't IU.
I forget.
Anyway,
but he was going to be at that game. So, I think they. Here's my thought, and I could be totally wrong. I think Michigan doesn't want Harbaugh there. Mm-hmm. I think there's an element inside that university that doesn't like him and doesn't want it, because the rumor is this story's coming from inside Michigan. It's been leaked from inside.
Was the cheeseburger incident inside too, or was that?
I think the big thing that the university's mad at him over was the COVID. He didn't adhere to the COVID policies, so he had sanctions put on him against that. And then he was on a 3-game suspension this year
for the cheeseburger.
For buying the cheeseburger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
what the fuck?
I mean, so and then the latest is
what the fuck? Sorry, go ahead.
The head coach the offensive head coach they had last year, he got fired. Well, he's under an FBI investigation for computer crimes. So you got Harbaugh being suspended himself. You got his offensive coach being fired, now under FBI investigation. And then now you got an NCAA FBI investigation into your cheating for the signal. So they got 3 things going on. So, we'll take Harbaugh in Chicago. I'll take him in Chicago any day of the week, man.
Right.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think this is it for him.
Would he go?
I think he goes to the Bears. I think the Bears fire this coach they got who's a clown, and they hire Harbaugh. I'll take him any day of the week.
I know this is my opinion only. I think that college level job is far better than taking a pro level job. That's just me.
I think so too.
And if the university would keep him, or for me, why would you? I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Big Ten does, because I think this really, to me, lies on the Big Ten's shoulders. It's okay. Now you got NCAA events. Big Ten's made no statement. It's like, I mean, they got 3 major investigations going on at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's wow.
And then you forget about, like we talked about earlier, like, the Northwestern thing, and then also Michigan State has their own issues.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it almost seems like
railroaded.
daily, or maybe not daily, but weekly or something. There's a story that's going to kind of make you forget about, what else has already happened.
I know.
You know.
And he got railroaded, the Michigan State coach. I mean, geez, they like suspended him and everything. And like the guy was set up, right? So, oh my gosh, which makes you wonder. So like they do, that's a good point. So they do that to the Michigan State coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Harbaugh's under 3 investigations and he's still coaching.
Right.
I mean, that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little double standard there, I think.
I think in all of athletics, there's a huge double standard.
So let's think. Michigan State 2-4, Michigan 7-0. Right? Number 2 in the country.
And that's who Michigan's played last week.
Yeah.
It was the Michigan State game.
Yeah, we can't have Michigan go down, I guess, is what the I mean, I don't know, man.
No, I've heard stories like that. You can't let Michigan go down. And you're like,
man,
what? Whatever.
One of the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life was I was at the game, Illinois, and it was 4th and 1, Michigan. Illinois has a hard time beating Michigan. And they had them beat. And it was 4th and 1. And man, Michigan didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it. And I was like, son of a gun. And they ended up winning by 3 because there were like 40 some seconds left.
Right.
And Illinois had a really good team that year. And I was like, man, this is so rigged. I'm like, wow.
What year would this have been? They had a good team.
Yeah, Illinois.
Joking.
Yeah, they had a really good team. It's the year Ohio State won the national championship with Krenzel as the quarterback. What would this have been?
Yeah, I'm not
20. Sure. Was this 2015? Or 2012? 2012. 20. No, wait. No, this would have been early 2000s. Yeah, this was early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember who the Michigan running back was because he was kind of famous. Was it Anthony Thomas?
I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, it would have been 2002, maybe. 2002.
We're all over the calendar.
Yeah. This topic's gone on and on.
So what about? Did you see the Iowa punt return that got called back?
Oh yeah, horrible. What the hell was that, man?
How do you? But you,
it's garbage.
Yeah, it is. But then you still don't capitalize. You still had whatever time left on the clock, and you still botched.
I know. You only had 3 yards in the second half or something.
The Big Ten and something stand behind that call was the right.
It's
call.
Horrible call. Rigged. There's no flag,
mm-hmm.
and then they reviewed it. Not even for that. Right? They reviewed it, thought he was out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's catch him out of bounds. Nope. Wait, I think he called for
mm-hmm. Fair catch.
Well, one of the worst ones was, and my guy, I'm gonna say his name right, Pat McAfee.
Yay!
The Pat McAfee show. Have you watched it this week?
I have.
Did you see when he did the Colts game?
No.
Oh, dude, I was rolling out of my chair laughing. Did you see
you mean talking about the officiating?
Yeah. Did you see that?
I did kind of watch some of that where the ball went into the stands.
Yeah.
The ball went into the stands. And the Colts guy get called for pass interference.
Yeah. 2 times in a row. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ursay made a statement about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that's bullshit. And the league, I think, said it was the wrong calls.
Right. Yeah. The league there admitted that was wrong. But then the big.
Doesn't matter. Got the loss.
The officiating for that college game. The Big Ten and somebody else, I don't remember who else, said that was the right call.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, you put yourself in. I mean, again, you put yourself in that. How do you? It shouldn't come to where that calls what's winning or losing you a game, but it did.
It did. It was costly too.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as the league
whopping 12-10 final score.
Yeah, it's almost as if the league called and said, "Hey, Pittsburgh's winning. We got to keep this division tight. Let's get the Browns into the win column."
Right. So,
but what about Pickett, Pittsburgh's quarterback's first down? Did you see that?
I did not know.
This is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, wow.
4th and 1,
Mhm.
and the line judge is right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he stopped way short. I did see that.
He was like a semi-trailer tire laying down away.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I did see that, yeah.
It's like, wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Game 2 of the World Series is tonight, Tony.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the 2 teams that are playing in the World Series?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
You do better than me.
You didn't know?
I did not.
It's the Cubs and White Sox. It's always the Cubs and White Sox.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the Astronauts.
Yeah. That's
The Astronauts and who's the fucking other team? Phillies got knocked out.
Well, you're
you're
0 for 1, technically.
That's not the Astros?
It is not.
Oh, they got knocked out?
They did.
Who is it?
It's the Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers. That's right. They're in it again.
And
the Rangers and boy, I don't know it.
The Diamondbacks.
Oh, the Diamondbacks. Man, I've not been following baseball at all this year.
I didn't know until I was driving over here, and I'm like,
when did that occur?
What? Yeah, I've no
Was it last night?
No, it was Game 2 is tonight, so I'm assuming Game 1 was last night. I'm assuming.
George Bush threw out the first pitch. I saw that headline.
Yeah. I saw that headline too.
So I automatically thought it was the Astros. Wow. Oh, well.
No, but the right state, just the wrong
Yeah.
team. So,
But the
Rangers.
Well, hopefully the Rangers do it. I like the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just wouldn't have been able to tell you in a million years who the teams were.
Sad.
Yeah, because it seems like we live, and correct me if I'm wrong, we only had so many options on TV in the 1980s anyway. So, I mean, a lot of people tuned in to see that. But if your team's not in that anymore, I don't think people give a poop. I mean, is it fair to say
Yeah,
that?
I think you're right. So the Rangers were in second place.
Okay.
Wow. The Orioles' 101-61 season didn't mean anything at the end, huh?
Nope.
So the Rangers, second place. That's awesome to see that. And then the Diamondbacks were in second place. Diamondbacks are barely 500, David.
Wow. I actually would have thought both of those teams were American League teams. I didn't have any idea that.
Well, I think they used to be, right? Didn't they switch that up? Or no, that was
Houston did.
Houston, yeah.
And Milwaukee.
And Seattle.
Mm.
No, I'm thinking football.
I thought it was Houston and Milwaukee.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was thinking football. Seattle moved into the NFC with San Francisco, right? Instead of the AFC.
I think so.
But, wow, the Cardinals were last place.
Oh, wow.
That's unusual. Man, that's interesting, though. You going to watch the game tonight?
No. We don't have TV at home. We don't have cable TV. So no. I only watch stuff based off of, replay stuff. So
Yeah.
Like on YouTube.
That's what I do for the most part.
We don't have TV. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah. You can catch a lot of the stuff.
We tried to, it's been a year or so ago. Sorry, everybody, for boring you. You are listening to the Ships Gonna Happen podcast. YouTube, we tried YouTube TV, and within we got a 30-day trial. Within the first week, we were like, nah. We're just like, nah, it's not worth.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see maybe getting an antenna and maybe trying to get some local channels, but overall, it's just not worth it.
You remember back in the day where you just went and plugged the fuse box or plug that thing back in the cable box and you got cable?
Yep. Do you remember? I was thinking about this the other day. Do you remember back in the day? Do you remember that you were the TV channel changer? There was no remote. You were the one. The kids were the ones that did it. And also on the knob, when you flip the knob to change the channel on the TV, there was also like the knob was almost inside an outer little kind of tune thing where you would tune like the
fine tuning.
The color or the the picture kind of tune. Remember that?
Yeah, Magnavox had like three.
Sylvania. We had a Sylvania. We had a Sylvania TV, and that was the same
Magnavox. Sylvania. Yeah. Oh man, it was good stuff. If you had a Sylvania, man, you were big poop in the town.
My dad worked for GTE, and I think GTE at that time had some sort of, they were in business together with Sylvania at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we had to have ended up with a Sylvania TV or whatever. But it was still, I mean, it was like, I mean, just think how big the TVs were. I mean, I'm looking at your shelving here, and legitimately, that's a TV was an encased in
a big box like that.
Jeez, but now they're all disposable, flat, throwaway, like the size of your computer screen,
flat, curved. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you
just described my girlfriend in high school. Curved. Anyway,
but hey. The one thing about that, though, do you remember the new invention back then that like got everybody excited? The clap on, clap off. Do you remember the clap on, clap on?
I don't think we ever had one, but isn't it about time for those commercials to come back?
It is. I love that.
Clapper. The clapper.
Yeah. Clap on, clap. It was that old lady.
Yeah.
She was sitting there. She's too old to get up.
Yeah, but she can clap really hard.
And she would go,
yeah.
Clap on. Clap off. Now we're going to be sued by YouTube.
Yeah. And Chia Pet.
Yeah, Chia Pet. Yeah.
It's time for those commercials because Wednesday, you won't be another mention of Halloween. All that stuff will be off the shelves, and Christmas is already up, I know. But like, we go into Walmart.
Seems like these stores gear up for it, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I've seen more Halloween stuff, it seems like, than I've ever seen in my life in these stores.
Because that is a billions of dollars a year industry.
Holy cow.
The corporation I used to work for back in the day, they made those pumpkins that the kids carried around, the trick-or-treat pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
They
plastic pumpkins?
Yep. Sold the poop out of them.
General Foam, right?
General Foam, yep. Norfolk, Virginia.
You guys did Christmas trees too, right?
Swimming pools, Christmas trees. Walmart was the baby for decades, and then they got in bed with the competition, and you're just like, this isn't going to end well, and it didn't.
You liked that job, didn't you?
I loved that. As far as a corporation is concerned, not. I mean, now that I've been 10 years where I'm at, not that I work for the best corporation in the world now, but you can see, I mean, yes and no. I did like it. I mean, you were
there for a long time.
26 years.
Yeah.
Now, you make your job what you make your job. You make anything in life what you make it. You are responsible for that. That's always been the way I've thought. And, and I made it what I made it. It's just, they don't give a crap about you. That's the stuff that, like, when I went in, I gave a month notice, and when I look back at that now, I was a dumbass for giving a month notice. They're like, when I told them, I'm like, I'm leaving, they're like, okay, and you're like, what? What do you mean, okay? I'm like,
yeah, you'd like to hear, no, Dave, let's talk about this.
Yeah, at least fake it and be like, oh no, please don't go.
Yeah,
at least fake it. But nope, see ya. And I'm like, they just don't care about you. And it just,
so they have emergency.
I mean, yes and no. If they were still open, I mean, there's probably a good chance I'd still be there.
That's 26 years is a long time, man.
It is.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
you landed well.
No. Yeah. But no, I don't know anybody that has an ideal job. I mean, I'm sure some of your jobs in the past were really good, and I'm sure you work for a really good employer now too. So, I don't know. You make it what you make it. I just
right.
Give me what, 10 more years,
right?
12 more years probably before I retire. Anytime I'm in Uber, like I had an excellent Uber driver yesterday, and I'm like, man, I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
Just do that, meet people, and
but there's no benefits or no.
Right.
You're an independent contractor kind of ish thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
Date?
I wish you got me reminiscing about my old job.
David B's got David. That's a big number in that topic there. You got
congestion. Yeah. Yep. So I sent this out earlier in the week, and I'm not as prepared as I should be, and I apologize for that.
You are so prepared, dude. I know
So
you are.
this article comes to us from Transport Topics. It's dated October the 25th, and the title of the article is Congestion costs trucking a record 94.6 billion with a B in 2021.
Wow.
The article, I'm just going to kind of read verbatim what the article says. Snarled traffic on U.S. highways added $94.6 billion in cost to the trucking industry in 2021, up from a $74.5 billion in 2016, according to a new cost of congestion study published by the American Transportation Research Institute. While year-over-year congestion costs decreased in 2020 due to COVID-19, they rose sharply in 2021 with a total of 1.27 billion hours of lost productivity. Think about that, producer Tony. Think about just that lost productivity where not only truck drivers sitting in traffic, but you and I sitting in traffic. And you drive a lot more than I do. I mean, you surely have to.
Oh, goddamn.
Probably on a daily basis run into that. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I only have to drive like around the corner to get to work, literally.
It's been taking me 2 hours to get to Kokomo.
No.
The 460, yeah.
So your route is to take 465 north to the 31 and then go up? Is that what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you can take the back way. I can go back way through Elwood, kind of Noblesville through that way and go back around, but that's still 2 hours. So usually it's about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe at the most.
Oh, wow.
It's been like 2 hours, and it was all that construction. So
the level of delay equates to more than 460,000 commercial truck drivers sitting idle for one work year. And in 2021, that represents a 27 increase from 2016. You think about that. As much as we get upset on our end about drivers being late or whatever, and I mean, all the time there's just congestion, construction, accidents that kind of prevent things from happening. A lot of people don't give this even any credit. You're like, where's this driver? And like, we're stuck in traffic. And then they'll be like, what traffic? I mean, just because the traffic isn't bad here doesn't mean it's not bad further down the road or whatever. It's just one of those numbers where you just don't really give it a lot of thought. And those were
COVID years too, right?
Yeah.
That data was COVID years, or coming out of it, the last year of it.
Yeah. I mean, you think about, I'm sure that to your point, Tony, I'm sure that this year's numbers are going to be worse than that based off of, the economy seems to be clicking as it should, depending on who you're listening to. And I mean, there's all the time construction and traffic backup. If I'm going downtown Friday afternoons for a meeting, quote unquote meeting, and if I don't hit it right, then the traffic is just so snarled. I mean, it is so backed up on all parts of the city.
Right.
It's just a backed up mess. And so that's a lot of money, and that's a lot. It costs corporations, not only drivers or truck drivers, it costs corporations.
What would be interesting to know is for us with the traffic congestion, all the interstate stuff going on in the Indianapolis area, it'd be interesting to know what the accidents were before the construction versus now. I would definitely think it's increased tremendously.
Mm-hmm. That area there,
it's horrible.
Yeah, that downtown area coming through there, it still gets so backed up on Fridays. I mean, I know there was a purpose behind doing all that construction, but it doesn't seem like it helped with the fluidity during the rush hour times. Still seems just as bad.
And what's crazy to me is like, okay, so I mean, I'm a simple man.
Mm-hmm. That's what we like about you.
David, I mean, I don't know why they're designing these things like California interstates where, I mean, you got people coming over top of you now. You got merging from the left. I got to go south and I got to get in the far right-hand lane. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like coming off the 69 to try to get south.
Right.
You're in the far hand. Forever it was this lane. Now you're over in the far hand right. So you see people darting at the last minute
And
because
this
they're
is
confused.
And this is on 69, or is this the
It's 16
65-70 split?
That too.
Right.
That too.
So
Yeah.
to your point with that, like if I get an Uber driver that's not sure where they're going and I'm trying to help, I'm like, you know, you need to be all the way over. Well, but my GPS says I got to be over this way. I said, I know what your GPS says. This is all new. So I'm trying to help you. You might want to get all the way over to the left because I don't want to go to
is this
Greenfield.
Common?
Very.
Wow. So everybody's having issues.
The thing that's common that pisses me off is you're not listening to me. I'm trying to help us get to where I want to go for this quote unquote meeting.
So it's a last minute dart over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then when you take the 65 split to go to where I need to go, the very first exit is immediately on the right. And I'm like, you need to be in the right lane.
Right. Because that's a quick
sign
one
right there. I said, we have to take that exit.
Yeah, that's a quick one.
And they'll still see. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Exit. Listen. So
you would think they'd be attuned to that, knowing all the construction going on. But I see it. I see people, especially like people out of state.
Right.
Like they just don't know. And it's like, and they're like thinking, why am I in the far hand right lane going left? I mean, I just don't understand it.
So this story kind of also states an obvious. So I'll kind of leave it after this one. But there were a small number of states that experienced a decrease in congestion, and those were Alaska and Wyoming.
Imagine that.
So weird. So
Yeah.
Hall of Famer Rich Warren when you start going to work over in Alaska, so you won't have to worry about congestion.
Yeah, no congestion there. Wow,
crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. Next thing, West Virginia is probably on this state too, or on this list somewhere. Too.
I thought you were going to say Indiana.
No. That's all there is. Like this morning coming over, every Saturday when I drive over here, I'm always kind of a 5 over guy on the interstate just to kind of cruise along.
Yeah.
I get blown off of the road.
Oh yeah.
5 over. Off of the road.
5 over.
And even when the speed limit drops down to 55 in Indianapolis, I definitely don't drop down to 55, but I might kind of stay in that 70 range, 70 zone, 65. I still get blown off the road.
Oh yeah.
It's just people even if there was a state police in the median today and everybody's just like whoosh, and I'm just like, all right, I'll be the one getting pulled over.
I see that a lot on 31 North.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's a 60 mile an hour.
Oh yeah, they moved it up to 65.
Okay,
they moved it up to 65.
So everybody's doing 70.
Oh, it's 80, 85, 90. You got college kids going up there to South Bend, right?
Oh, mm-hmm.
It's in Michigan. There's a lot of Michigan license plates and Notre Dame stickers in the back. And the time of the year it is because the cops are usually out, right? And they're coming after them. But man, they've done a pretty good job with 31 though, because it used to be a nightmare.
It was because it was just 2 lanes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember that.
Time.
It was like a country drive,
and it went through Kokomo. Now
right,
it goes around Kokomo.
It went through the downtown. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, in the Air Force Base,
Grissom,
right up there. Yeah,
where they fly that big jumbo plane around every day. I see it all the time. I'm like, what?
Every day.
Every time I go by there, I see that big ass plane up in the air, and they'll like nosedive it and then spring it back up. I'm just like, wow, what are they doing, man? Like, what a waste of gas, just pouring gas in that thing. But I guess it's a training thing. I know why they do it. It's a good thing. But
I didn't realize that there was still an active.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I went there to see a customer on the base, and yeah, that's all fenced off. You can't get back there. I don't know what all they do, but I know that big plane is constantly flying around. I mean, every time I see it, I mean, it's like, it's funny. It's huge. It's probably like a it's like a big cargo plane. Maybe that's what they're. Or either
I'm envisioning in my head kind of a big cargo green.
Yeah, and it's just green. It's cargo. Gray. This thing's gray.
Mm-hmm.
Just painted gray. No numbers on it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird, man, to be driving up 31 and then all of a sudden, right in front of me one time. And it's not. I mean, it's high, maybe 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, and just, and you're like, whoa, shit. You know what I mean? You're like, wow, like a big ass plane in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it's a pretty big base, and they have that museum there where the plane, the aircraft is. I've never really done that. I just drove. I got to drive in that way and then go see that customer. It's a sign company. They make signs. But no, that's interesting, man. That's a lot.
It makes sense, though. I just don't think people think about it.
No,
so much lost productivity,
Oh
not
my
only on
gosh.
the driver's side, but also the just people that drive cars. You know, if
Yeah.
you're driving to work and you get stuck in that stuff, and
it's bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
But,
need.
so I mean, you get stuck. I'm sure Ann probably gets stuck. you know,
Yeah,
the-
she's driving it every day.
Yeah, yeah. It's just whatever.
Sometimes she takes Washington Street all the way back, and there.
And that's a piece of poop road.
Yeah, it is.
That is a piece.
But sometimes
of poop
she's got to
road.
take that because it'll be 10 minutes faster.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Tracy's going to start working down there, and I kind of like looking at the map. You're like, there might be some days where you just want to run Lafayette Road up.
My God.
But then Lafayette Road's a big piece of poop too.
Yeah, because she's at the Routebush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a nice VA hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, because getting off there in MLK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
7 to 8.
Exit 114.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you got to deal with all the IUPUI people too.
You're gonna have to get Tracy a flying car. If you
Right.
got her a flying car,
Right.
she could just zip in and be to work in 20 minutes.
I think Waze does a good job at kind of giving you at least any time I use Waze, it gives you kind of it does a good job of letting you know what's up ahead. Like,
Yeah.
hey, it's going to get, so I told her, I said, you might want to look at that every day just so you can determine on how you want to get home. Because going up Lafayette Road sometimes might be the right thing. Sometimes. Again, that road's a piece of poop.
Well, actually, she's coming from the north though, because Ann's had to take that coming from the south.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's messed up from the south, man. That exit there.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 lights, I think. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 that are like you're gonna wait in that 15, 20 minutes to get through that. But yeah. Well, good for Tracy, man. That's good for her.
Yeah.
Yay. That's
Kudos,
awesome. Got what
yeah.
she wanted. And
Yep. New job.
Sweet.
So, yep.
That's awesome. All right, man. I got
So I saw there was a headline about the article from last week that we discussed.
Yeah.
With your story, where some former employees are thinking about buying it, or
yeah, something like that, and then so we're doing a follow up on we mentioned it last week, Convoy. I just wanted to clear up a couple of things, and then they were in business longer than I thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was wrong about a couple things I said. So essentially, the money was funded by Bill Gates and Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they had kind of their people running it. So their goal was to become digital with no bodies, no humans, take the human element out of it all. So their goal was to make trucking better, less downtime, all sorts of stuff. So their goal was,
is this like a TMS thing then, or was it?
I think it's included. They have that in there. They were going to automate everything, have mobile technology. They're better matching drivers and loads. They pledged to slash deadheads across the country and do all this stuff. Just make it more physically and profitable. They thought with the power of technology and the startup money they had, they could solve all these problems in trucking and make it a better thing, which is a good idea. But, ultimately what they found out is trucking's not easy, and you can't just eliminate humans. There's too many humans involved in it and have to be.
All right. Okay.
So by that, it was just the investment money alone wouldn't save it. So then they weren't making money. So 8 years they were in business.
Oh, that long.
Yeah, we didn't see them much out this way because they were mostly West Coast. But they were trying to be like an Uber with more dedicated high technology type thing. And well, it didn't work. So they had a valuation of $3.8 billion which is fitting of a tech firm. They brought what they thought would be massive efficiencies and automated 90% of the brokerage journey, such as pricing. They even automated that. And, but it failed. So I just think this story is significant because, you know, there's so much more to a trucking company than technology. There's so much more to it than
numbers.
Yeah, than getting a driver. I mean, you got to have a lot of things go right too to make it work. And the customers aren't going to use you if it don't work. Right. So you're not going to have any customers. So if you tell them that you're going to do stuff you can't do, eventually they're going to leave. Yeah. So, and they should.
Talk to somebody.
Right.
Going to be like,
yeah. So it didn't work. It's just amazing to me that it's $1 billion, man. And you know, what would Yellow do if they had they'd still be in business if they had $1 billion investment, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean,
but they'd piss that away.
So they find a way to lose it.
Sorry if I offended anybody. It's just the truth.
Oh my, they'd find a way to get rid of it.
$700 million. We'll piss that away and give us another $1 billion. Well, yeah.
So anyways, I just thought the girl that wrote this article, like you said, David, there's a new article out in FreightWaves. This lady who wrote the article is Rachel Premack, and it's on FreightWaves. And she is an editor director for FreightWaves. She also writes newsletter modes. She also does ABC, NBC, and NPR stuff about trucking. So it was a really good article, I thought.
But is there a new article though where some of the former employees might?
Yeah, there's another. Yeah, trying to get the money to do that, and
I just don't know how that would go.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't ever want to discourage anybody from bettering themselves or doing what they think is. But that's a tough sell.
Yeah,
you know,
their thought was how Amazon changed retail, how Facebook changed human connection, how Google changed the information gathering. So could Convoy change the industry, and you know, but it's you know, the thing that you and I've always said is there's so many humans involved in this and have to be even on the brokerage side, you have to have them. So you can start a company with no trucks. You're gonna have to go find the trucks, somebody to get you the trucks, and you know, so there's more to it than that. I just think we work in this industry, you and I, for so long, and it's taxing. It can be taxing on you because there's a lot of things you got to do, right? It can be physical, mental, right? And it's just, that's trucking. That it's not, hey, flip on a switch and let's hook up a computer and bam, dude, it's done.
Right.
You know, so, but that's it for me on that. David B, you got
sorry.
You checking work?
Oh
man, is it good?
It's never good. It's just I'm working on a Saturday morning. I mean, I work most Saturdays anyway, but it is what it is. So I did see that, and I know that I don't ever like to just discuss the bad things, but like T-Force announced a $44 billion or $1 million. I don't remember. So a reduction in business from this time last year. I guess if I want to talk about it, I better look it up. Sorry.
It's all right.
But it's the third quarter earnings were down from this time last year. Bear with us. Sorry while I stumble through.
So their third quarter, they're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. 45.6%. Dives 45.6%.
Yeah, that's it. 45.6%.
Holy cow! I didn't see this article yet.
Reduction in business from the third quarter this year from last year. So
whoa!
I gotta wonder when I read an article, when I read that headline, and I haven't thoroughly read the article all the way through. Was Yellow going out of business? I mean, where did all that Yellow business go, or whatever? And I know, just wondering out loud, how do you? That's a big percentage, man.
Yeah, I think no.
I haven't seen anybody from T-Force. I don't know how long. It's been years. I don't know how they get business.
That's funny. Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. Holy cow.
That's just, I mean, you got to wonder where did all that yellow business go?
Well,
who's getting all that?
Yeah, well, no, man, it's a good point. David, I think the shocking truth of the whole yellow thing is most of the business left there was corporate. Was your corporate Amazon, your Walmart, your Targets, that stuff, the grocery.
Oh.
They were heavy into that, man.
Oh.
And so
government stuff.
Yeah, government stuff, yeah. So yeah, looking ahead, yeah, it's wow, that's not good, but yeah, that's not. You're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. This is Tony B. alongside David B. Episode 119. You got any randoms?
I did have a random. Bear with me while I look up my random. I heard coming over. Bear with me. Sorry for not being
prepared. David B., you got to quit your job and get ready for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast.
I need to stop going out drinking on Friday.
Hey!
That's what I need to do. So yeah, I did. So coming over here, a lot of things when I'm coming over or whatever catch my ear. What year do you think Michael Jackson passed away? Just a guess. Because it's not. I was way off.
2015?
2009.
It's been that long.
It has. It didn't seem possible. Not that I was a big Michael Jackson fan.
Roy Boy's a big guy, yeah.
It just doesn't even remember.
No, I know.
That it was that long ago.
So that's interesting you said that, because do you know who Eddie Money is?
I know. Yeah, huh?
2 tickets to paradise.
Shaking.
Pack your bags and we'll leave tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was shaking.
Yeah.
I loved Eddie Money.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw this interview with him, with the Professor of Rock.
Yeah.
And Rick Beato.
He does a great job, by the way.
Yeah. That's Professor of Rock, right?
I don't remember
Where's
what
it?
that
No, it's the other
gentleman's
dude.
name is.
Yeah, anyway, Rick Beato was another guy. Professor of Rock had him on there. So I was like, man, what's Eddie Money up today to? Dead.
What?
He died.
When?
Like a couple years ago. I didn't even know.
Either.
I'm like, I kind of know that stuff because I like music, but I'm like, and I like Eddie Money. I was like, wow, I'll just Google him. What's he up to today? I'm like, he died?
6 feet under.
Yeah, he died. Anyway, so, but there's things like that though, like you just said, where, you think they're alive and they're passed away, or you think they might be passed away and they're still alive, right?
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson, I mean, I would have never, it seems recent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Do you know who died the same day that Michael Jackson did? Another celebrity that died on that same day that kind of got looked past.
Washed away. I have no idea.
Farrah Fawcett.
She died on the same day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I had a poster of her in my room.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I love Farrah Fawcett. She was the hottest woman in the world back then.
Do people still do kids still do posters? Did Jake put up a poster or posters? Or?
He's got some rock stuff up there, but not
a scantily clad.
No, I had a Joan Jett poster.
Okay.
I had a Joan Jett poster. She was my hard rock lover, and Farrah was my supermodel goal. And yeah,
Heather Thomas was about that range too.
The Fall Guy. I love the Fall Guy. Big old truck. The Fall Guy.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw the Fall Guy? Oh yeah, Heather Locklear, right, was in the Fall Guy.
Okay.
The old $6 million retired man was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Fall Guy is a pretty good show.
Okay. I remember of the show, but I never watched.
Heather Locklear. Wow.
I missed a lot. I've not ever been a big TV guy.
Mm-hmm. I really wasn't either. It was just like usually like what was it, like the big ones, my mom would watch Dynasty, Dallas. I think those were on Thursday, Friday nights.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I could just remember that. But mostly I was in my room listening to music or something. But yeah, that's wild, man. That is wild.
Yeah, that just kind of, you're like 2000. That doesn't even
Well, when did
sound
Prince
right.
die?
That's a good question.
Because that one, he died after him, right?
Yeah. I would have guessed like 2017. Yeah, I don't know.
2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember listening to him a lot growing up. Prince was bad MFer.
But Clint Eastwood is 93.
Still making movies. Still producing
Still
movies.
kicking, man.
Still producing.
You know what? I hope I looked that damn good at 93.
You look damn good right now, producer Tony.
Clint Eastwood always looks good. Damn. If you want to watch a great Clint Eastwood movie, one of the best ones is A Fistful of Dollars. You ever see that one?
No.
Oh man, it's a good
What year?
Fistful of Dollars. I think it says here in 1964. I did not know that. It says 1964.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he did the movie in Spain for low budget. The man they told he talked too slow. You talk too slow, you'll never be a star. What they told him. Whoa. And then he was the biggest star ever.
How often have you been told that you talk too fast because you have a Chicago?
Oh, a lot, man. Especially my relatives in Kentucky. They always say, slow down. Slow down.
Or you talk a lot slower down there,
Yeah.
Bart.
What did he just say?
You coming around here now.
Hey, he ain't from here. He was born on concrete. they concrete. He's got concrete. He came from concrete. Dirt road. Oh,
I
man.
think I might go see some music today. There's a festival in Irvington. There's a
really?
Battle of the Bands.
Oh, yeah?
I am not I'm not a bluegrass guy at all.
Oh, bluegrass is good shit.
But there's a bluegrass band that's
Really?
there that's freaking awesome.
When's this happen?
Today they go on stage at 2:35.
Wow.
I suspect that I will see one Matty G there.
Oh, I
because
bet,
him and I have seen this band before.
Oh, really?
And they are that good.
There's a bluegrass festival in Kentucky I always wanted to go to, and never went to it. It's a big one, man. I think they call it Jamboree or something.
I almost today tried to, and this is completely on me. I was going to try to contact one of them to see about coming on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I failed.
I think what I was thinking about doing, though, I'm going to do this. I'm going to contact this girl on this article, see if she'll come on the show.
That'd be good.
Yeah. See if Rachel will come on the show. We've had people on before that came on. The dude out west.
Yep. That was a good interview.
Yeah, it was great, dude. We were ahead of the curve.
Talking about the congestion.
Yeah, port congestions.
You don't hear about that at all.
No,
Peep.
not a peep. But yeah. So you got Marion's playing
On the road.
the road today,
Yeah.
but it's in Indiana.
Yeah, and at I think it's at Taylor. I'm pretty sure it's at Taylor University, which is in Upland, Indiana.
Yeah, and for you that don't know, years ago Taylor had a plane crash, or there was a car crash or something that killed some students years ago. Probably heard that on the news.
Yeah. That's a nice uplifting.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
I try
man.
not to do that stuff.
Big games today. College football's been fun, but it's been fun watching pro football.
I'd hate to be IU fan today after IU plays Penn State. Penn State's coming off the loss to Ohio State.
Yeah.
And so I think that this might be a little kind of get back to going with Penn State, put an ass whooping on IU.
I think so. That's funny you said that because I was thinking about that earlier in the week because Michigan's got to play Penn State, and so at Penn State, so I'm thinking Michigan might lose that game. Penn State's coach is in a little bit of hot water.
Great thing.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
Did he say something?
No, I think let me back up. I don't think he's in hot water. I think the temperature's raised up a little bit there.
Hot seat.
Yeah, because he can't beat Michigan or Ohio State. I mean, you look at this guy's record; it's immaculate, right? So you ask yourself, if you're Penn State, do we want to beat Michigan and Ohio State? The answer is yes. But you got a coach that can't, or can he? We'll have to see if he's going to beat Michigan, right? Stay tuned.
Those of you that are actually listening.
Yes, there's still users still there. But yeah, I think that's a little bit of heat for him. I think he's a good coach. I love him as a coach. Does a good job, but I think he's, they need to beat They need to beat Michigan, I think, but it's going to be tough. I mean, if they know your signals in your play,
there's another school that had a huge effing scandal and kind of out on top.
Yeah, I know, and they punished the kids. They should have never punished those kids. Took the championships away. Those kids won that. It wasn't. Anyway, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I envision a Penn State-Michigan game at Penn State. I envision a lot of fake cameras in the audience looking at Michigan, right? I don't know if they play today, but if they do, they might get it. They're off today, aren't they? They got to buy. Yeah, they got to buy it.
I'm not sure.
Let me check that out.
Off. I don't.
I think they're off today.
Probably. I think you're right, especially coming off of the Michigan State game.
It's hard to cheat. You need time off.
Right.
Indiana plays Penn State at 12. Georgia plays Florida. I know Ohio State plays Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oregon and Utah, 3:30 today. And I tell you what, that Utah team's tough. That's going to be a good game.
Oregon's one of my bucket list places I'd like to go to watch a game.
Oh, I bet Beaver, the Oregon Beaver.
So Michigan is off today.
Okay, yeah.
Purdue's at Nebraska.
It's hard to cheat. You got to take time off, man.
Maryland at Northwestern. Ohio State at Wisconsin.
That'll be a tough game for the Buckeyes.
I mean, Wisconsin's a team. Michigan State at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Good looking football schedule.
Well, this 3:30 game, Oregon Utah. I'll tell you what, one of the best football games I've seen in a long time was watching it Saturday night, Utah versus USC.
Okay.
Man, it was a great game. It was a really good game. Well, I liked watching that. It was fun. Utah got them.
Hadn't heard anything about Colorado in a few weeks.
No. Who do they play today? That's a good question.
Right off. I'm not sure.
They got a bye?
I wouldn't think so. They've already had their bye, I think. Again, you're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen show. Sorry for boring you.
They play UCLA. That's right.
At UCLA?
Yeah, 4-3 Colorado at UCLA, 5-2, ranked number 23 in the nation. Coming to the Big Ten. This is a game Colorado could win. Tell you what, if they beat UCLA, I mean, we taking them in the Big Ten?
Colorado?
Might as well take Colorado and Utah and just take the whole Pac-10 and bring them in the Big Ten.
Why not?
Did you hear how they're going to do it?
No.
They're just going to stack them up. There's not going to be any conferences.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
The reason the SEC's already done that, so they're kind of following what the SEC is doing. So,
how would you like to be the Rutgers tennis team and find out find out Monday morning that you got a game at USC on Thursday, and then you got a game at Maryland on Saturday. Oh my God!
It's a little jet lag or whatever.
Are they virtually going to play, or are they?
I mean, all these universities, just the amount of money that they make off of these sports. Of course, football is the funding for that tennis match to happen.
Right. Well, yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. Because you know what? I have a question for you. Who are the two quote unquote top football programs in the country? College money makers.
What are the two big money makers?
Yeah, I just learned this on Wednesday.
Alabama.
They're in the top 5. Yep.
But you're asking for top 2.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Number 2.
Number 1 in the United States. Texas.
They're number 4. They were number 1.
Son of a.
They were number 1 in 2018. Good job, man.
Not Oklahoma.
No, they're in the top 10.
Number
1
Big Ten?
by a lot.
Notre Dame.
Nope.
Is it a Big Ten
Yes.
team? Ohio State.
Yes.
Well,
I was
Ohio
shocked.
State and Michigan.
Ohio State number 1, $256 million a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
revenue?
Yeah. Total sports is like 300 something.
Oh,
250 of us from football. What you just said earlier keyed me to that.
I see what you're saying.
It's all about football. It's all the football's bringing in all the money. Yeah.
And look at what those coaches get paid. Shoot.
Not as much as they should. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, in most instances, it's the highest paid person in the state.
Right. Well, just
Interesting. That's interesting.
it is because the top 5 are. I remember them all. Ohio State, Michigan. I think Alabama was Texas was 3rd. Alabama was 4th. Notre Dame was 5th or 6th. But yeah, I mean, 256 million. They bring in 300 some million a year, and 250 of that's football. This is never would have guessed that.
No.
Especially Ohio State, Michigan being 1 and 2. That just flipped though the last couple of years. It was always Texas, Alabama.
Yeah.
So
2 Big Ten schools.
yeah, and it's something to be proud of. You know, hey, if Ohio State's number 1, you got cheat, man. If you're Michigan, figure out, hey, we're number 2.
That's it.
We got to be number 1.
Those are both solid, or all those fan bases are solid fan bases. So that's, wow.
Yeah, they are.
I know what they
dude.
generate off of apparel and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just-
Well, remember how the Big Ten was the last holdout.
Yep.
They didn't you couldn't buy like a University of Illinois hat. You couldn't buy it at Games or the hat place, Lids or whatever. The mall. You couldn't. That's going back a little bit to like maybe early 2000s is when it ended. But yeah, it was stupid.
Yep.
Then they look around. They go, ooh, USC and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame might have been the first one. Is you want to buy my stuff and resell it? Go ahead. So it's just, yeah. Anyway, you're listening to the ShipsGonnaHappen Podcast all day, every day.
Thanks everybody for listening. Smash that like button, click subscribe, leave us a comment or 2. Appreciate you listening.
Have a good weekend.